Well, hi. If you're watching this, one of two things has happened. You may have seen one of my other videos where I took a Atari Flashback X and modded it from something I found on the internet to make it play every Atari there is. I took a ColecoVision Flashback and I gutted it, put a Pi in it. Now it plays all the Colecos. I had a Legends Flashback. I added a mod that I got off the internet. So basically what I'm doing is I'm making little systems. Um, of the game systems when I was much younger than I am today. Um, I started with an Atari when I was a kid. I had a Coleco. We had an Intellivision. I'm working on an Intellivision um, miniature, but right now let's just focus on this. This right what you're looking at here is a Megapi from the beautiful people at retroflag. They make Raspberry Pi cases that look exactly or better than, well, there is a Sega flashback that I don't think looks as good as this. There's a At Games flashback that does not look as good as this. This to me looks virtually perfect. It just doesn't say Sega. And it comes with some bonuses that you would not normally get from the other things. You get, well, it looks, first of all, it looks great. Then you can get a couple of these controllers, which to me look perfect. You have your safe shutdown. You have a reset button. Um, Now, I never had a Sega as a kid. I knew people did, but I don't know as much as everybody else does. But over here, which would have been your, I don't know, just to air it out, that's your SD card goes in there. Um, Over on this side, this piece comes off the bottom, so you can access the other two USB and maybe a landline or geez, I never use it. I only use Wi-Fi, so I don't even know what the heck you do with those. Ethernet port, and if you need a wireless keyboard, or if you need a keyboard, obviously that's a wire. Comes outside, but I don't usually need it, so you put this back on, and it just looks like a great case. And then, of course, your two controllers in the front. Inside is a Raspberry Pi 3. I'm not sure if it's a B or a B plus. I have to rip it apart to look inside, but I can't remember. So I'll show you what I've done. Now, all it is it's a RetroPie 3. I'll just show you what I did. Turn on the old television here. A little less complicated than some of the other things that I've done already. This one I didn't have to go on the internet to find any mods. I just was able to actually do it with a Raspberry Pi. But here's a couple things that I've done with it. First of all, you don't see the Raspberry Pi boot screen, just maybe that's it. And then it goes into this, which I found on the internet, which I love. Way better than saying Raspberry Pi or RetroPie or emulation station loading. It does this. I thought this is perfect for Sega because you got the Sega thing, then you got this pretty much tells you what you're dealing with when you turn it on. So this to me is better than what you'd get with a flashback or whatever you might have bought, or the Sega Mini that you can probably get, I guess. But it goes into this. This is the theme I chose, just Sonic and Knuckles. It's nothing special, but there wasn't really anything decent for a a Sega theme, I guess. Um, so let's just go into it. So what I've done is I wanted it to be a Sega Genesis, but I wanted to do kind of what happened with the Atari, where you have your 5200, your 7200, and your computer games. I wanted to do as many Sega systems as I could. So I believe the first Sega system that came out was this SG-1000. I have 82 games. I believe there was a total of 105, so I just decided to not keep some. Some that maybe they were just in a different language. I'm not sure, but here's most of the ones of art. I don't know. I never had one of these. I know Congo Bongo. Let's see what that looks like. I'm sure it's not as good as the arcade version, I'm sure. I don't know what year this actually came out. I don't even know if this was even released in North America. That's how I don't know Sega. You probably you're watching this. You like your Sega. You probably know more than I know about it. Oh God, that's it. Nice. These are the controllers that they give you, and it works pretty good. Where's the start button? There we go. Okay. Well, that's Congo Bongo. So to go back to the menu, you hit select and start. So there's all the games on there. Okay, and back out. And then I guess the next thing was the Master System. We'll skip one. Master System was their second system. I think they had 312 games from what I've read. And on here I have... Oh, where does it say here? I'm going to go back. 369. So I have more games than actually were released. Tons of great games on here too. Alex Kidd, Asterix, which I loved reading those books when I was a kid. Batman stuff up the wazoo. 10 million NBA games and things I probably will never play. But I wanted to put every game I could possibly put on here. You know, I'm not going to play Pat Riley's basketball or anything like that. But there's just a little idea of how many games there are on here. And back out. And of course, after the Master System, you got the meat and the potatoes, if you will. The Genesis. Now, what I've done here, anybody else who's had a RetroPie, when you start programming it, for whatever reason, well, obviously, the Sega was called the Mega Drive in most of the world, and just Genesis, I guess, mostly North America. So when you program it, it'll say Mega Drive. And I was able to find something on the internet to help me reprogram it. So it does say Genesis when you click on it. See what the games are. There was, geez, how many games were for this? 878 games were released for this. I'm actually reading that off something. I have 976 games. So there's going to be some hacks. Let's see, 10 million different Sonic games, I guess. But there's the odd one that doesn't have artwork. And again, forgive my great camera work. I'm just holding this in place while I'm doing this because I couldn't find a decent... Oh, look, I got two of the same game there. Or no, that's part 2. I couldn't find a decent stand to put my phone on. Tons of games. Almost 1,000 games just for the Genesis alone. Golden Axe. Let's get down here to the S's. You know, see all these Sonics. Sonic and Knuckles, Hedgehog 2, Hedgehog 3, Amy Rose. I don't know half of the stuff. It's pretty much just the same game over and over, Spinball. And just with different characters from the Sonic universe, I guess. There's the other 10 million games just for this. Oh. Maybe I'll just click on something here. Wild Snake. I don't know what that is. You get into a habit of, you have so many games, you're never going to actually play them all. I've actually been done this system for about a year, and I still haven't played all the games on it. But then I've been working on other systems. So, getting around. Okay, I don't know what this is. It's a game. Ah, I see what you're doing. Kind of like another Tetris ripoff. Yeah, let's back out of that. So, after that, let's say the Game Gear. So I decided to put the Game Gear games on here. There's 302 games. I think that's actually, well, it's a lot less than were released, but there's tons that I couldn't give a crap about. Like Barbie, but I still have it on there. Battletoads. Chester Cheetah. Great games. This thing, in my mind, it's better than, I would say it's better than any Nintendo handheld. Well, at the time. Let's try and echo the dolphin or eco. How smart I am. I don't know how you pronounce it. I'm an Atari guy. I'm really old. This thing came out in the 90s. So I was more interested in going to rock bars instead of playing video games. Oh, nice. All right. Yeah, that's a dolphin. All right. Okay, so that's the game. Exciting. Anyways, that's your game gear. There's, I guess, about 300 games for this. Down here, back out. So after Game Gear is the Mega CD. So I have to skip one here. Also, in my ports, I put Cody on here so I can watch some movies and stuff sometimes. Let's go to the Sega CD. Now, these are so big. Like Sega CD, I don't even know. 200 games were released. These are so big, I can only fit 50 on here. And then the other cool thing about this case, besides that you can open this up and open this up, if you hit the old volume control, for some reason that thing opens up. It's not, that's your cartridge slot, but this thing opens up for some reason, and you put another SD card in. So what I did, I put as many of these CD games on here as I could. And then I put other ones on the other one. So let's just try some Jurassic Park. But there's going to be a screaming T-Rex. Okay. So I never had one of these systems. I never had any of the other ones of Sega. I've only really ever seen the Genesis myself. But these are pretty freaking cool, these CD games. Yeah, who cares? Play the damn game. Yeah, okay. No way. Sonic? That's weird. Right. I guess that would be your downfall. It takes so long for the games to actually start loading. When I was a kid, the games just friggin' worked. I don't even know. Somehow, maybe I'm just too dumb to figure out how to actually play the game. Okay. How do you even move that around? I have tested these before, but apparently I'm too dumb. This ruins the whole video because I don't even know how to show you how to play the game. Anyways, I'll just go back out. Don't want this to be a 45-minute video. So, back out. And then the last thing that I could put on here was the 32X, which I believe is the next step up from the Mega Drive. I didn't have any Pico or anything like that, or what is there, Super Pico or Sega Saturn, because they're too big. If there was another, I did a Nintendo one of these, and I put a certain amount of games like this on it. And then on a Super Nintendo, I did the same thing. So I kind of split up the Nintendo stuff. If there's another mini Pi case for Sega for the next thing up, like a Saturn or the what's the next one after that even? Then I would do another one and put a bunch of other games on it. See what we got. Got like 4 kinds of Doom. How many Dooms do you need? And then this is pretty cool to me. Star Wars Arcade, which I guess, from what I've heard, is a port of the Star Wars Trilogy arcade game, which I loved, and I have not seen that available in home systems or anything at all. Wish Arcade 1-Up would do something, or somebody. but that's how this looks. I know this one works because I tried it yesterday. Apparently Admiral Akbar is from Queens or something. Hey, what's up? All right, let's go back to this. And then I'll show you this. The other cool features about this system is if you want to do a reset, I'll just do the same thing. Reset is a terminate, which it just goes back to, well, I'll just do it. Your reset. And it's a safe shutdown. So you don't have to worry about having an on-off switch, but you do have an on-off switch. But what it just does is it resets the system, and then you go through the whole opening screen again. It reloads. So if you have a problem with the game system, if you turn it on and it crashes, you hit the reset and just start over again. Anyways, sometimes it does happen after the loading screen. Sometimes it has happened when I exit a game. But I could do this right now. I guess I could just shut it down, turn it off. See, it doesn't work. You have to actually wait for this to be done to turn it off. And there it goes. Okay, so now it's off. So all I have to do, I have this other SD card here. If I can actually get it out with one hand. You say dork. And open this thing again with one hand. Ain't easy. All right. This is a bigger one. This one is 256 gigs, and somehow I ran out of space for those games. And this one is 128. So there you go. Put that in. Try to hold the system while I hold my phone because I'm that dumb. Okay. Turn it on. Let's do the loading screen again. This will be the time it crashes. Sega. This is pretty cool the first, 5-6 times you see it, but when you're building the game, you have to re-watch this 180 times. Kind of gets annoying, but it's still really cool. Sega. All right. So I'll just show you the difference. Everything is exactly the same games, except on the Sega CD, it's A to L basically. So from this one, I got Pitfall and some. I think there's a Smurf game. Yep. Les Schtroumpfs. That's me speaking French. See if I can get this one to work since I couldn't get. What was it, Jurassic Park? Start button. Sega. Infogrames. Can't even pronounce that right, I'm sure. Dum-dum-dum. I would like to play as if I was British, please. No. That is pretty cool. There's a game? All right. All right. Yeah, you get the gist. So I'm just gonna go back out, go back to the thing. So that's basically my Sega Pie. Just close that up again, so it looks cool. Leave you with a happy parting shot. Basically, it's a Sega Pie. So it's my mini Sega that comes with more than 40 games. Comes with, I'd say, 98% of the games made for Sega, up into Sega. The Sega CD came out. But I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out. After this, I did a Nintendo, then I did a Super Nintendo. I did a PlayStation Classic mod. Then I'm working on a television still. I think I mentioned this in all my videos. So if you want to see what I've done with those, the next one I'll do is probably the Nintendo. And we'll see what happens. If you feel the need, please like, subscribe, make a rude comment if you want, if somehow this is offensive. Or, check out my other videos. I like to take hikes around Vancouver and make smart-ass comments. Something I do. Anyways, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.